You're not too emotional. You're picking up signals other people literally don't notice. That's the part that messes with you, right? You think you're overreacting, but your brain is reacting to more input. Psychologists call it sensory processing sensitivity, and it shows up in about 15 to 20% of people. It's a trait, not a disorder. And once you see it through that lens, a lot of your weird habits start to make sense. Why loud places drain you, why critique hits so hard, why you need time alone to reset. Have you ever noticed you walk into a room and your body already has an opinion? No one said a word. You haven't even sat down, but your stomach drops a little, or your shoulders go tight, like your system just voted no before you got to think. Imagine a normal birthday dinner. You slide into the booth, plates clink, someone laughs too loud. The server squeezes past you. Two people across the table do that polite smile thing where their mouth says fine and their eyes say, we're not fine. And even if the convo is still about cake and work and traffic, you feel that tight spot in your chest show up anyway. Everyone else looks normal. So you do the shame math. What is wrong with me? Why can't I just chill? Why do I notice everything? And because you can't point to one big obvious problem, your brain grabs the easiest story. I'm too sensitive. I'm dramatic. I'm weak. It sounds clean. It also sticks. But here's the thing. You're not reacting harder to the same room. You're reacting to a different room. Psychologists call this sensory processing sensitivity. And you don't have to overthink it. It's basically a nervous system that takes in more detail and then processes it deeper. More input comes in. More meaning gets made. And that happens fast, before your conscious mind gets a turn. So the emotion isn't the first event. The first event is data. It's tone shifts. It's micro faces. It's who goes quiet right after a joke. It's the half-second delay before someone answers. It's the buzz in the lights that no one talks about because most people's brain filters it out. It's the way the table feels crowded even when there are empty seats, because your body is tracking space, sound, and social risk all at once. Think about what that actually means. You're not too much. You're high input, and you've seen this since you were a kid. Think about school. You're sitting there trying to listen to the teacher. You want to focus. You really do. But there's a kid tapping a pencil. Tap, tap, tap. Not loud enough for anyone to call it out, but it hits you like it's inside your skull. Your jaw tightens. Your skin feels hot. You're not trying to be difficult. Your brain just didn't gate that sound the same way, so it kept landing like a knock you couldn't ignore. That's the part people miss. Sensitivity isn't always big feelings. It's often too many signals. And this isn't just some internet vibe where you read a post and go, wow, that's me. Personality researchers actually tried to measure it. There's a tool called the Highly Sensitive Person Scale, HSPS for short, that looks at patterns like deep processing, being easily overstimulated, and picking up subtle cues. It's not perfect. No scale is. But it matters because it treats this as a real trait you can study, not a character flaw you have to hide. Also, let's clear one thing up without turning this into a medical lecture. This isn't the same as a disorder. It's not the same as being fragile. It's not a diagnosis stamped on your forehead. It's more like a sensitivity setting. Like your system runs with the volume turned up on the input side, so you catch things early and you feel the cost faster. So when you look back at the moments you're most embarrassed by, it changes the story. That overreaction you still cringe about was often your system doing its job. It noticed a pattern fast. Your feelings showed up second, like an alarm after a sensor trip. Which brings us to the part most people never hear. If this trait is real, then the big question is why it exists at all. Most assume being sensitive is a mistake. Like nature messed up the settings and left you with a weak skin. But here's the thing. Traits don't hang around for no reason. If a trait only hurt survival, it wouldn't keep showing up again and again. So imagine the older world for a second. You're moving with a small group, not a crowd, a handful of people. Most eyes go to the big stuff: food, water, shelter, who's leading, who's not. And then there's you. You're the one who keeps catching the small stuff. A bird that went quiet. A new smell on the wind. A person in the group who's walking a half step behind, not talking like they did včera. You don't even try to do it. Your brain just keeps taking samples. That has a cost. You look like you're doing too much. You slow the group down. You ask one more question. You want to step back from the loud fire before everyone else. In modern life, that gets labeled fast. High maintenance, overthinking, buzzkill. But in a living system, that too much can be the point. In evolution, groups often need two styles to work well. You need the bold types. The ones who push into new space, take risks, grab the first chance. They find the berries, they start the fire, they make things happen. And you need the cautious scanners, the ones who pause, watch, listen. That type burns more energy because the nervous system stays on. But it also catches trouble early. A shift in tone, a crack in trust, a threat that's not loud yet. Psychologists call this a balanced strategy. Not everyone can be the same. If the whole group is bold, they walk into danger. If the whole group is cautious, they never move. So you get a mix, and that mix seems weirdly steady. Around 15 to 20% is the number that keeps showing up when people talk about high sensitivity. Not most people. Not some tiny rare group either. Just enough to matter when you're in a team, a family, a class, a tribe. Think about what that actually means. You're not a glitch, you're a ratio. Now bring it to your life right now. You're in a work meeting. Nobody's yelling. The words are fine, but you hear it. The tiny edge in someone's voice. The way two people stop making eye contact. The joke that doesn't land and leaves a thin silence after. And you can feel in your body that this is going to turn into a problem later. Or you're with a friend who says, "I'm good." Same smile, same tone. But you catch the drop in energy, the slower replies, the face that looks a little less alive. You don't have proof. You just have signal. That's vigilance, not drama. Here's the brain frame that makes it make sense. Your central nervous system reacts quicker to noise, conflict, and social threat cues. Social threat can be tiny, by the way. A cold look, a cutoff, a small shift in status. Your mirror neurons pick up the mood in the room, and your body treats it like data you need now. And once that alarm goes off, your system wants action. Fix it, leave, say the right thing, smooth it over. Your executive function gets pulled into problem solving, even if you wish you could just sit there and sip your drink like everyone else.